it's Ratio here for another video. In today's Capt'n vlog, first of all, I apologize for being a bit late in uploading this. I was taking a birthday break. We're here at the Gonzales Museum, and right in front of us, let's get straight to it, is the actual Gonzales cannon. Now, the actual wheels were too badly damaged to be brought here. However, this cannon is the real Gonzales cannon. And yes, it was that small. Let's move on to the next clip. We can start with what's behind me right here. As you can see, the cannon's right there, so we didn't really move. Yes, it is a bench. Basically, this is a bunch of fancy speak and some fancy text that makes their F's look like H's, and just some fancy text. Basically, the gist of what it's saying, although you can pause the video right now to read it if you want. Keep the camera pointed there. Basically, the gist of what it's saying is that explaining the rule of Gonzales during the Texas Revolution. Long and short of it, it was basically right at the back line, right behind some of the bigger battles, including the Alamo, and its citizens were pretty pro-Texas Republic. So, let's move on to over here. So, here we are, and here's some information about DeWitt's colony, which would be the one that ended up settling Gonzales. There's plenty of relics and stuff in here, but I'll give you the gist of the colony thing. So, a while ago, well, I say a while, it's more than 200 years, back when Texas was under Mexico, only about this area, if we come over to this map, which we already are here, only about this area was actually considered Texas. Worse, I think this area was considered Texas. The rest was gains due to the Treaty of Velasco, which was highly controversial, and I still think is a bit controversial today, so I won't get into it. So, I'm not doing this yet. First of all, you might be expecting me to talk about over here. We're only here for the map. But that's just for you to get the background. So during that time, that area was very sparsely populated, and the Mexican government wanted to fill it up, and they also wanted new citizens. So they set up the colony system. Basically, people like Green DeWitt and more famously Stephen Austin would be given the title of impresario, where they would get a bunch of people. I think 300 was Stephen Austin's number. It might be here, DeWitt's number, but Stephen Austin's right here. DeWitt's number might be here. Again, feel free to pause the video and check. And then if you find it, put it in the comments. Thanks for the information in advance, or you could just search it up. My point is, I'm not sure how much, but they get a set amount of people, and if they don't bring that many people in, they lose the contract. And the contract is basically they're given some land, they give it out to the people that they're inviting in, and they basically set up their towns. There were varying ranges of success to moderate success with DeWitt, to no success to a few other people. One area actually went into rebellion, to the abject, complete success that was Stephen F. Austin's colony. Here's another plaque about DeWitt. Anyway, so DeWitt's colony, Gonzales was one of the cities established. Sorry, my camera woman is getting a call. So, sorry about that interruption. But over here, so some more information. Here's some more information about some people that were there and more artifacts. Some stone that was marked. You can see the markings. If you come closer, you might be able to see the markings if your video is set to higher quality enough. A log from a log cabin someone made, a pistol, a copper candle holder, some more stuff. This is more interesting. Here's some of the bullets that they used for ammunition for the Come and Take It cannon, which was over there. Some information that I forgot to mention back there was that when it was given to the Gonzales colonists, it was actually spiked. Basically, by sticking a spike into a cannon and hammering it in, that could stop it from firing. However, what they did was take their cannon to the blacksmith and remove it as soon as the Mexicans were like, hey, we want our cannon back. Because the cannon was originally only meant for intimidation. Back over here, some tools that they used to make bullets. Oh, and this is interesting. This is a copy of the original victory or death letter from the Alamo. Over here is a cannonball. A cannonball. Some cups, some plates. Yeah, I think we can move on to the next clip. So, right as I cut off, I realized there was something I wanted to talk about here, so we have it in this clip. Here is a medal for the Immortal 32. The Immortal 32 was a nickname given to 32 men from Gonzales that went to the Alamo during the Battle of the Alamo. If the camera woman can come back to see it, and if you pause, I think here, you can read all the names of the Immortal 32. I noticed that they liked calling stuff the blank number of people. Like, I think the old 300 was what they called the original 300 settlers for Stephen Austin's guys, and I forgot what was the title they gave him, the something 18, for the original 18 soldiers that first were the ones to, participate in the Battle of Gonzales. So let's move on. Here is some information about Texas as the Republic of Texas. Did you know that they even had an embassy in London? I didn't know that until today. So over here is some more tools. I think this is about the Civil War with some Confederate veterans. Definitely pro-South, this area. Pistol, old-fashioned, the revolvers when they decided that they'd add more shots before they decided to make, modern bullets, and they just still had to stuff powder into holes. So over here is some information about the Mir expedition, and down here is a flintlock rifle and an old-fashioned flintlock double shotgun, double barrel. Side to side, doesn't look like break action. I think it's just one of those old-fashioned ones where you just stuck stuff up the muzzleloader. Yeah, muzzleloader right there. Surgery kit for the Civil War. Most of the Civil War era medicine was actually amputations. In other words, they were cutting people's arms and legs off. I'm glad that we have better medicine these days. Now over here is a bunch of information dedicated to World War I and World War II. unspecified lever action rifle. I would tell you, but it's not shown. Mauser, model 1871, 11 millimeter. I think Mauser was a German company back then. Don't know if it's still around today. 1871, basically the same thing, but looks different. This is the Genfer 88 8mm. Mauser model 1888 88 8mm carbine. The Enfield, that's British, and apparently has severe battle damage. I think the bolt's damaged there. And this one is an Austro-Hungarian rifle. And then we have two older fashion rifles, just two unspecified pump actions that appear. Yeah, they were flintlocks, and I think they're both break action. Some more stuff. Food kit, compass, bayonet. I think that's a grenade without the explosive back there. Not quite sure what that is. Maybe a bullet or big bullet or something. Iron Cross, I think that's one of their medals. Pretty sure though. Gunpowder flask, I'm not sure why that's still around during World War II. Or maybe it's not World War II. Here's some brass knuckles, although they don't appear brass. I think just brass knuckles that are made out of steel, which then they wouldn't be brass, so don't know why they're calling it brass knuckles. Something happened to this guy's helmet. Hopefully not while he wasn't wearing it. Cannonball, some swords, or exceptionally long bayonets, and a whole bunch of uniform. Yeah, and some more up here. Plenty of plaques, plenty of other stuff. Over here, we're here for history. We're not here for souvenir coins. So we're here for helmets. I think this is the Mark I British helmet. Can't tell the others, but I think this is one of the German World War I helmets, judging from the spike and the shape. A bunch of bullet making tools, apparently. Yeah, and that's about it for this area. Again, this is stuff for, you know, what's it called?
Souvenirs.
Souvenirs. We do not cover souvenirs on this channel. So, I think that's it for this room. Let's move on to the next one. So, we're in the second section. Over here is some, older computer stuff, typewriter, CD, I think. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a calculator or something. Another type of typewriter, something slightly more modern, but still far from modern. Another typewriter, an audiograph, which is an old-fashioned radio. Yet another typewriter. A bunch of dresses. This area is kind of very spread out in what it's got. A map of the U.S. area. I'm not quite sure which year, but I think it's like somewhere between Texas joining the U.S. Or no, it's right after the Mexican cession, right after when we bought that. It's not really clear on the time frame. It just shows like the original 13 colonies, then we bought Louisiana, then we got Florida sometime, I'm not quite sure when. Then we got Texas, then we went to war with Mexico, and ended up with the Mexican secession, which, to be honest, the US was kind of letting Mexico off easy since we were like halfway to their capital. And then later we got that other green area that's not Florida. And then we got Oregon somewhere along the way. I've never actually looked into where we got Oregon in. If you know, please put in the comments. I'd really like to know. And this is kind of a funny story. This is supposed to be a replica of the Gonzales cannon. However, if you forward back to the video to where we showed it, I think you can just go back to the very beginning, but make sure to come back right after. This looks nothing like it. Bigger bore and like just longer. I think that's because this was made in early 1936. However, in early 1936, it was used in the centennial celebration in the spring, but literally the same year it was made, in July, they found the real thing, and this was proven to be an inaccurate representation. Over here is a whole bunch of different tools and parts that for various old-fashioned machines. And over here is, I think it's supposed to be a replica of someone's bedroom. Like I told you, this area is very spread out in what it covers. Over here is, I think, a bunch of arrow points or spear points. Arrowheads. And over here is something admittedly impressive. A 1,000-year-old mastodon tusk and mammoth tooth. I think that's mammoth tooth, and this is the mastodon tusk. You know, the teeth that are sticking out from their mouth. Ironically, or not ironically, for no real reason, not for no real reason, it's just kind of funny that instead of being found by like archaeologists, these were found by the literal Boy Scouts. Like, what troop was this? What were they doing when they found this? That's what I'd like to know. This is a memorial to the Old 18. By the way, yes, it was called the Old 18. I thought it, but I wasn't sure because there was the Old 300 and the Old 18. I thought they were different. They were having separate titles, but I guess not. This is a memorial to them and a list of all 18 soldiers. These were the volunteers that were actually there during the Battle of Gonzales at the very beginning of the war and turned the tide. And if you go earlier to the video and maybe open it in 2 tabs and compare this list to the list of the Immortal 32, I think you're going to see several of these names in the list of the Immortal 32. So let's see if there's anything back here. Oh, hello there! Didn't notice you were there. Now, you're probably expecting to be in the back of the building, discovering what's back there. I can tell you that it's really exciting and that you do not want to miss out, so stay until the end of the video. So, we're in the front because I forgot to show you guys that. There's, I think, a memorial up there in the middle, and there's the building that we've been in for the past few clips. And here's a pool, about 3 inches deep at a glance, and relatively wide, And the 3 flags, the Come and Take It flag, the Texas flag, and the US of A flag. Yeah, I'm gonna waste your time a little bit more, so let's go talk about the grass. My camerawoman, when she heard me talking about the grass, she decided to cut. But I'm really interested in doing this grass bit, so let's come over here and talk about the grass.
No, please.
This grass is green and,
I'm gonna point at
it's a whole joke, you know. You can just skip forward if you want, but this clip is about to end in 3, 2, 1. Let's find out what this is. And dun da da da. Oh wait, it's just an old stage. Oh well. I guess this is as good a place as any to make my outro. So, thank you for watching. This has been, please like, subscribe, and above all, share. And this has been Capt'n H. Sign